What's up, everyone? Welcome to our channel and another episode of Tech Tip Tuesday, where we empower you, our fellow business owners, by discussing actionable tips, tools, and ideas to increase your brand awareness, ultimately driving customers to know, like, and trust you. I'm Gary, and as always, I'm here with Annabelle.
What's up?
What's up? But anyway, hey, we got a lot of rain coming through the area, and we got a storm coming through. So if you hear any static noise or if the audio sounds kind of funny, I promise you it's not us. We apologize. Just rain hitting the studio roof. All right, if you're watching the replay, we appreciate you spending time with us. Make sure to leave a comment because we love hearing from you. That's the most important part. Yeah. But the other important part is we like to know what you guys want to talk about. And if you're watching live, just leave comments, and thanks for hanging out on the adventure with us. And if there's any live technical issues, we'll just laugh and have some fun along the way. Right. And anytime during this episode, if you find value and you feel we can continue to serve you, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, hit all that cool stuff, and we'll just make it happy. Today we want to share our top 5 reasons why we use WordPress to develop our clients' websites. And if you stick around to the end of the video, we got a little bit of a bonus tip for you on how you can get started if you're interested in website development or you just need additional functionality and that your freemium sites really aren't offering. But first, a quick word about today's sponsor. Annabelle, who do we have this week?
This week's sponsor is Danielle Stagg with Farmers Insurance. She's our trusted insurance agent for all things needing coverage, both personal and business. She's a locally owned and operated agency. I call her the insurance lady. You can learn more about her services on Facebook. That's right.
Danielle's
great friend.
She is awesome.
Great friend of ours, and our insurance agent.
Now I got a really funny story about her.
What you got, man?
So one day I was driving through a school zone. And it was right on the edge of the school zone, and there was this bus coming down, and it kicked on its lights and early, and it was still rolling. So I guess the law is once that all starts happening, you've got to really start stopping. I didn't blow through past a school bus or anything.
You sure you
Luckily,
weren't speeding through a school
I wasn't speeding through a school zone. So anyway, I get pulled over by this police officer that was right behind him, and all worked out because he checked his webcam or his dash cam and was like, "Hey, you were in the right, you're okay." But anyway, I'm in my glove box. I'm rooting around. I can't find my insurance card. And I'm trying to find it on my phone. So what do? I call Danielle. I say, "Hey, I know I'm sorry. I'm on your personal cell phone, but I'm being pulled over." She stopped everything she was doing and said, "Yep, give me just a second." And she sent me my insurance card right there on the spot. So that right there is
that level of customer service. You don't find it too often.
No, you don't. You absolutely do not find that level of customer service. I mean, at that hometown level, she feels like family. She feels like a friend. She understands. So if anything goes wrong, I know she's going to take care of me.
There you go.
And our business and everything else we got going. So anyway, if you need insurance and you're in the Clarksville, Tennessee area,
yes, give her a call.
Check her out, man.
And you didn't hear it from Danielle this time. You heard it from us.
That's true.
Because that's what she says.
Oh, is that what she says all the time? Oh, yeah, she's always on. Yeah, she's always on Facebook and all over the place. Anyway, looks like we got our technical issues fixed. Notice we're back on the real camera now.
That's right.
Nothing worse than a storm coming through, messing up your audio, and your camera battery dying as soon as you start streaming.
It happens.
It does. Totally happens. Anyway, all right, let's move on, guys. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of switch up here. All right, cool. So today we're talking about the 5 reasons why we, as a digital marketing agency, use WordPress for our clients in their website development. So brand development, we all know it's hard work and it's extremely time consuming. When it comes to your online presence, there is no better way to establish and control your footprint than your business website. And we kind of touched on this a little bit last week when we were talking about the embassy effect and kind of what we're the stuff that we were talking about. Think of your website, your business website, as your own kingdom or your own country that you control. You control everything inside of there. And like we said in last week's episode and in our blog post, we went more in depth into what this is. But just remember, when you're on your social media platforms, you don't control what goes on outside the gates.
Absolutely not. That's
so
right.
You do control what goes on outside the gates on your own website. So if you want to learn more about what we talked about last week, just check out the link in the description, and you'll be able to figure that out. But anyway, the most important takeaway from the embassy concept that we were talking about is how important your website is to your brand. Yeah. Thus, our 5 reasons why we want to talk about this.
Yeah.
WordPress, awesome piece of software.
There you go. It's more than
I'm a little flustered because that battery, man.
It's okay, man.
Man, that battery, it's like, that battery.
Let it go. Let it go.
That's what happens when you do your spin-up test and you forget. It's always get a mental checklist, guys. Seriously, kind of off topic and off script. When you guys are doing live broadcasts, make sure you go through your checklist. Always go through your checklist pre-flight, right?
It happens.
All right.
But you always have a backup plan, and the backup plan worked.
Always, even though it was pretty ugly. All right. So anyway, Animal WordPress. WordPress to me is, I don't know anything about it on the back end, except now I know how to do a little blog post. So when I think of WordPress, I'm thinking of blogging. Seriously, like what is it? Where did it develop real quick? So everybody can just know that this is what we're talking about, WordPress.
Well, WordPress originally started as a blogging platform. It was originally called B2 Cafe Log, and it actually came out in 2001. The guy that originally developed it, he developed it just to do a presentation where he was blogging and putting pictures about a conference that he was attending. Later on, he abandoned the project, or he decided he wasn't going to develop it any longer. And that's where these two other guys, including an American, picked it up and made it into an open source platform. It was originally launched in May 2003, okay? And after 9 months of development, they just started releasing plugins. So think of plugins as apps, the apps that you have on your phones. So these plugins for WordPress, what they do is they serve a specific function. They allow you to set up your mail, they allow you to set up videos, they allow you to set up calendars, e-commerce cards, and all these other things that you can add to your website. 9 months later, that's when themes were added. Think of themes as your curtains on your house, your flowers around your living room, and all these decoration things that you put around your house. The themes are what bring your website alive. It allows you to set your colors, your logos, and all these other things that makes websites look really cool. An interesting thing is that just this year, WordPress celebrated 17 years as a not only website design platform, because it has evolved from that into a content management system. So like people use it for databases, they use it to track clients, they use it to set up their e-commerce cards. And
so it's all
these other
encompassing
things.
now.
Yeah,
it's all
it pretty much has about everything that you need to run the online presence of your business straight from your website.
Nice.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, there you guys have it. So that's the baseline for WordPress, what it is, where it came from. Now let's kind of go into why you, as our web developer for 214 Media's web development side, the 5 reasons why you prefer to use WordPress for
sure.
clients.
So one of the reasons, the main reason why I used it was because I remember the days when I was using Dreamweaver, Composer, all these other tools to develop websites. And it was really hard for me, as I was learning, to develop the code and actually see visually what I was developing. So I would say my 5th reason for using WordPress as a developer is ease of use. You have unparalleled web design flexibility and so many features that are there just to address the needs of your customers. For me as a developer, and also for business owners, to add features that add value to their brand.
Right.
So one example that I will give about that is some of our clients, they had an issue where they needed to build like a shopping cart for selling prep meals. Okay. So that was a problem because in one other platform, and I won't mention the name right now, the thing that this specific client wanted to do, which was to create like packages for the meals, that couldn't, it was no way to do that. Where in WordPress, just by adding a plugin and customizing custom images of the products and all of that, I was able to create the packages and bam, it was done.
Nice.
Yep.
See, I noticed that too when I would use another service. You always get these ideas of, man, I wish I could do this. Wow, I wish I could do that. That they keep you in a box basically when you're using those paid sites or freemium sites. And then obviously WordPress gives you a lot more flexibility to handle those issues of, wow, I wish I could do that.
Right.
Nice. So yeah, that's what I always had that argument with myself when I was running my first studio. I was like, God, I wish I could do this. But there's a solution. It's called WordPress.
There you go.
Anyway, okay, let's move on here.
The other one that I would like to talk about, and this is number 4, is management features. Management features that allow you as a business owner to retain control of your website at all times. And this goes to our philosophy here at 214 Media on how we develop websites for our clients. One of the things that is dear and near to me is the fact that I want you, my client, to retain total control of your website at all times. Like we were just talking to a client recently, and he couldn't tell us if he actually had control of his website or not. He knew that he can go and look at it, but beyond that, they couldn't tell us much more. The way that I like to set up the websites, you have full control. You're always the administrator, and I'm just there literally behind the scenes managing everything else that needs to be taken care of. And that's the way that it should be, because if something happens to me, you want to make sure that you can hand your website over to another developer or to another company.
Like if the relationship dissolves or something happens to you physically or whatever, happens to your developer.
So you have full control of the website. You can get in the back end and you can make changes and turn it to somebody else.
And it also helps protect not only the client, but it also helps protect us as an agency, as a digital marketing agency. It protects us. You know, if there's anything nefarious going on, at least, you know, there's a degree of separation.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. There you have it.
There you go. All right, let's move on.
The next thing that I would like to talk about is enhanced reporting features, in the sense that you can gather a lot of insights about your customers, your visitors, who's actually coming to the website, the demographics, you know, countries that are visiting your website, whether they're good or bad.
Right.
There's people from all over the world that hit the websites. You know, you don't know if they're just really trying to check you out or they're really trying to check you out. So the reason this is important for our clients, because as a marketing agency, it allows to target custom packages for them.
Right.
So it allows to develop strategy for their brands and how we're going to market their efforts towards their target audience. One of the successes that we have recently seen with one of our clients is the fact that they have a website, but they didn't fully understand the power that blogging could have for a brand website. And it's really powerful. It's not just about, okay, I'm going to sit there and write about anything that I want to write. But you can write about your brand. You can write about what is your brand doing behind the scenes. You can post pictures that your clients sent you. Things that are relevant, new products, new offerings, specials, and all these other things that you normally would share on social media. Share it on the website, and then you can share that out on social media.
So it's almost going. So, you know, we were talking about the NBC effect, but you control the narrative. You control you have your own news feed, basically. So what you're saying is create your own news feed like you would on a social media platform. But 100% of everybody who comes to your website has the opportunity to see it.
There you go.
There's no algorithm messing with it.
Yeah, there you go. You're controlling the algorithm, and not only that, like you mentioned, you're controlling the narrative, and more importantly, you're driving traffic back to the cash register. To the cash register. That's right.
That's our new term for everything now. Well, your website, unless you're not in the business of making money, your website is your cash register.
There you go.
Just so everybody knows that. All right, here we go. Let's move on. So this is a good one right here.
The other thing that I want to talk about is stronger security. Now, this is all relatives, and it all depends in us humans, because when it comes to cybersecurity, the weakest link is always us. How trusting we are with the things that we allow the people that is managing our services and accounts, and also the levels of permissions that we set for websites or social media accounts. And specifically for WordPress, there are several levels of administration that you can set. So what I'm trying to recommend is you don't want to make everyone that you're letting in there as an administrator.
Right. Are you sure?
Positive, 100%. So make sure that you as an owner, you definitely need admin access. But anybody else, just make them an editor, a contributor. You know,
there's that hierarchy of who can do what inside.
Who can do what, and that also touch into the management of it, because every time you make a post, it actually tells you who was the last person that touched.
Oh, so it keeps track
that item. Exactly. So it has a timestamp. It shows the name of the person that actually did or changed whatever it was that they changed, and that allows you to manage it from that aspect as well.
So not only from a development standpoint and kind of maintaining workflows, so like your team of people who are working on a website, you can manage all that, but also that's also just a built-in security feature too.
Absolutely.
So awesome. Yeah, definitely something that security is definitely a big thing. a
Sure
big
is.
thing.
Yeah, sure
Especially
is.
when you're dealing with client data and databases,
Your client's information, yeah.
point of sale systems, all that other stuff. So WordPress definitely puts you in more control
Yeah.
of handling that business, if you will. Yeah. All right, and finally, our last reason why we as an agency like to use WordPress.
Yeah. The last reason for me is that it's platform agnostic. And what I mean by this is regardless if you're on a phone, on a tablet, on the website, you know, out of the box, WordPress is designed to be responsive. All of their teams are designed to resize and shrink to the smallest screen that you're actually looking at on the website. Now, the caveat on this is when you start adding customized design elements, there will have to be some coding that needs to be done behind the scenes. Like some of the words might be going around on the screen and stuff like that. And that is going to have to be fixed on a per client basis, depending on what it is the client wants. But for the most part, straight out of the box, you can go from desktop to mobile, and it's a seamless experience.
Yeah.
So, and as they have come out with new versions of it, like on the latest version, which is version 5, they're just getting better and better over time at actually detecting the type of screens that people is actually looking at on your website. Yeah.
So from and I know all the freemium sites and all that, they're developing that too, and that capability. But as a developer, why is this more important?
To me, this is more important because I got an example of a client that I work with, and one of the first things that this client came back to me was, it's like, hey, I cannot see the mobile website. Like literally the way that his website was designed, and granted, this was a website that I took over from somebody else that was already developing.
Right.
But the way that they had to set it up, when you go to mobile, the mobile menu didn't show. So I had to go back in there and code it back into the WordPress for the mobile website to show up. Now, if we compare this to other platforms, let's say Squarespace, Wix, or Weebly, that would have probably been a call to their technical support.
Right, you'd have to go off.
It would have been a support ticket to their technical people for them to fix what it is or to add that capability that you was trying to add.
Right.
Where with us, we're here, we're local. You can always come and visit us, or you can send me an email and say, hey, look, this is what's happening.
And the problem gets fixed. Yeah.
And we can fix it.
And in other news, what do you got, Animal?
Well,
so much news going on in the world right now.
We're talking about Zoom again.
Zoom.
You know,
Okay, let's talk about Zoom.
Well, the thing is, a couple weeks ago, we were telling you to upgrade to the latest version, version 5.
Right.
And now, these past 2 weeks, they actually had to release another security update. And the reason for this time is because they discover that while you're in a video conference, if somebody shares a GIF, or is it a gift? Is it a GIF?
No, it's
or
not a GIF. I think it's a GIF. So we looked it up last time because some people were letting us know that's not how you say it.
So let us know in the comments.
Is it GIF, like peanut butter, or is it GIF?
It was a GIF. That's right.
I don't know. Whatever. Settle the argument. Just leave a comment.
That's right. But regardless of what it's called, you know what it is. It's those images that have animation and little funny things that people share. But Zoom discovered that if you're in a video conference and somebody share one of those, it could come with an embedded GIF, like literally,
Like an embedded gift.
and not in a good way.
Like a present.
It can actually have a bad present for you because hackers could use it to run a script on your system, take over your computer, and siphon out information or completely just shut down your system. So that is something that we want people to be aware of, especially because a lot of our local government agencies are still using Zoom, surprisingly enough. The one platform that we're recommending is Google Meet, and the reason being is because it's encrypted from point to point, and it actually doesn't matter if you got the free version or the paid version, because Zoom has put out a message saying that they're only going to have point to point encryption for paid customers. So you just,
let me get this straight. Google of all the companies, point to point.
I would say, yeah, Google. It's kind of strange to say that, but Google does have point to point encryption. It is free for G Suite users, and it is free until September 30th for regular users as well. So just make a note of that. That's consider that a PSA for you guys, because we just want to make sure that you stay informed.
Yep, that's the most important part. Is make sure
right.
everybody's informed. You know, a lot of people use Zoom, You know, families use Zoom, schools use Zoom. Just please be cautious. We don't mean to beat up on Zoom, but we just feel that it's important that with so many people using it and what we've experienced and what we pay attention to, it's important to get this information out to keep you guys educated to use the right platform safely.
That's right.
And please settle this argument. Is it a GIF? Is it a GIF? As promised, we do have a bonus tip for you. WordPress and establishing your footprint. We're just going to give you a couple of tips to help you get started. So, Annabelle, what do you got, man?
Yeah, well, the first thing that I will recommend for you guys to do is to secure your domain. What you're actually securing is the name of your brand. So that's the most important step right there. You don't want somebody else to go and buy a domain for your website, and then you're trying to figure out how can you register that really cool name that you came up with, and now you have to register a name that is a mile long, which you actually don't want, because people by nature don't like to type that many characters when they're typing up a website. The next thing is for you to familiarize yourself with WordPress. I'm not telling you to become a coder or even a WordPress designer. You can leave that to me. But what I will tell you is you can go online, and there's hundreds, thousands of videos online that talk about WordPress, what it is, how to get started, and all of that. The next thing will be for you to secure the hosting. Now,
which is different than the domain.
The domain,
right.
That's right. The domain secures your name. The hosting secures basically your internet connection. So it allows you to have your website published on the internet. The next step will be for you to publish that website once you have your hosting secure. And the last step will be for you to start blogging or publishing content to your website so you can keep it relevant and active.
Nice. So real quick, just to recap on your bonus tip here. Secure your domain, which is your name. Familiarize yourself with WordPress.
There you go.
Secure your hosting, which is where your website will sit, right?
Where we reside, yeah.
And then build your website, right? And then publish your blog and your website is step 5. So that's really, I know we try to make it simple and fast. It's really, there's a lot that goes on there, but those are your 5 steps to really get your WordPress site off the ground.
That's right.
All right. And of course, if you want to learn more, you can always hit us up. We're always willing to help out. Anyway, this has been a crazy show, guys. We apologize for the audio. We apologize for the camera issues. We apologize for the scene switching. And it's just fun. It's just what it is. It's a live broadcast. But remember, if you haven't checked out any of our other episodes, go ahead and check them out.
Yeah, subscribe.
Subscribe. We need more subscribers, if you would. And of course, thank you, Danielle, for sponsoring this episode, this crazy adventure of an episode. And we'll see you all next Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central. And remember, it's not about us. It's about you guys, and it's about our mission. And our mission is your success. Cheers, everyone.